Hello and welcome to the SCCM tutorial. Enrolling to this course will help you to learn the different modules and aspects within SCCM current branch version. The System Center suite consists of System Center Configuration Manager, which will be covered within this training. On this page, you can see the evolution of Microsoft Client Management since 1994. Continuous learning, training, and skills is what it takes to be an expert within any technology. So anybody who is new to SCCM would definitely come across these queries. What is SCCM? How can I learn SCCM? How to start? Where to start? Should I learn something before starting SCCM? How can I get practical knowledge? What are the different modules? How widely is SCCM used? How soon can I learn SCCM? SCCM releases, difference between 2012 and previous versions. Let's try to address each of these queries. So what is SCCM? System Center Configuration Manager is a systems management software product by Microsoft for managing large group of computer systems. Configuration Manager provides remote control, patch management, software distribution, operating system deployment, network access protection, and also manages software and hardware inventory. Next thing that comes into our mind is, how can I learn SCCM? Setting up a lab should be the very first priority for exploring different areas within SCCM. There are multiple other Microsoft documentation and virtual labs available. You can find different blogs and online tutorials on SCCM. How to start and where to start? Again, the answer to all such queries is to set up a virtual lab. A common query that many people keep asking is, should I learn something before starting SCCM? The simple answer is no, but the basic knowledge of Windows administration will surely be an add-on. Blogs and documentation might help you grab the theoretical aspects of SCCM. But in order to have practical knowledge, a virtual lab is very necessary. The following basic configuration should be sufficient to set up a virtual lab on your personal laptop or desktop PC. Another common query that comes across is, what are the common modules in SCCM that you should be aware of? So starting from SCCM administration, application packaging, software update deployment, operating system deployment are some of the key areas that you should be very well versed within SCCM. Again, at the start of the career, we all do have these queries that how widely is SCCM used and how soon can I learn SCCM? SCCM is widely used by enterprises to manage the software and hardware inventory along with other modules listed earlier. Learning and exploring SCCM is a continuous process, but I can assure you that by the end of this course, you shall be gaining a very good insight into the technical aspects of SCCM. SCCM releases. Microsoft originally released it as Systems Management Server in 1994. Systems Management Server 2003 released in 2003 with improved stability, reliability, and software distribution capabilities. SCCM 2007 released in 2007 with support for Windows Vista and Windows Server 2008. SCCM 2012 released in 2012 with significant changes to application deployment capabilities. System Center Configuration Manager 1511 released in November 2015 to support Windows 10 and new Windows servicing options. Thereafter, current branch versions of SCCM are released twice every year. Difference between SCCM 2007 and SCCM 2012. System Center 2012 introduces changes to both primary and secondary sites, while the central administration site is a new site type. Active Directory Forest Discovery is a new discovery method in SCCM 2012. Clients can now communicate with more than one management point in SCCM 2012. Software updates are new starting SCCM 2012 and replace update lists that were used in Configuration Manager 2007. In Configuration Manager 2007, superseded updates are automatically expired during full software update synchronization. But in 2012, you have an option to specify a number of months before a superseded update is expired. A secondary site in Configuration Manager 2007 has no site database. But in SCCM 2012, secondary sites require either SQL Server or SQL Server Express to support database replication with their parent site. All the features in SCCM 2012 are carried forward in the further versions. Standalone primary site. A standalone primary site will have a corresponding database. A primary site is suitable for smaller deployments and it has few options to accommodate any future growth of your enterprise. If you do not install a central administration site, the very first site that you install is a standalone primary site. By default, you cannot install additional primary sites that can communicate with one another. However, you can still install one or more secondary sites to extend the primary site when you have to manage few devices that have a slow network connection to the primary site. Now, what are secondary sites? Secondary sites also have a corresponding database. It manages clients in remote locations where network bandwidth control is required. Secondary site is a mediator or a forwarder. It gathers information like inventory system status information from the clients and sends to the parent site. Secondary site must be attached to a primary site, and you cannot move them to different parent site without uninstalling them. Secondary site automatically installs SQL Server Express during site installation if a local instance of SQL Server is not available. If you do not want to install secondary site, then distribution point is the other option. Distribution point plays the vital role of delivering content to the clients. Whenever a client needs to download a new operating system or just the bits of an application or a package, it needs to contact a distribution point. So the basic hierarchy of a standalone primary site would look like this. The primary site, the secondary site or the distribution point, and then the further clients. Central administration site. Central administration site will form the top level hierarchy of multiple standalone primary sites. It has a corresponding database. A central administration site is suitable for large-scale deployments and provides a central point of administration and flexibility to support devices that are distributed across a global infrastructure. When you install a central administration site, you must also install at least one primary site to manage users and devices. For central administration sites, you can deploy site system rules that are useful for hierarchy-wide monitoring, such as reporting services point. Since a CAS is intended for administration purpose, Not all site systems are available, including management points. CAS collects data from the entire hierarchy and also participates in database replication. Site. Site is the foundation of SCCM from which devices and users can be managed in your enterprise. It can be termed as the mesh of interconnected site servers. Computers that host the configuration manager site are named site servers. Example, the primary site and the central administration site. Computers that host other site system rules are named site systems. So do not wait and enroll right now to be a SCCM admin. Enjoy the learning journey that starts as a noob and finishes off to become an expert.